Well, howdy and welcome back, Quake Pro League action. I am 40 Lions, joined by ZSX. We just saw Effortless and Dewey. Dewey coming out on top 2-1. ZSX, how do you feel about it? Does it hurt? Did you expect it? I already forgot.
No, I expected that. Yeah, they always put up a really, really close game, and definitely feel that Effortless has come on a lot, as we said at the very start, over the course of the season. And there are games there where in the past it might have spiraled out of control, but he's found ways now to reset, restabilize, and looks in a much better place. Methodical. Dewey showed us all facets of his game again, from the super defensive right through to the ultra aggressive. Played out. It was really fun to watch.
Really, really fun to watch. And I have a feeling the next matchup is going to be fun to watch. How do you feel about Canadian bacon, maybe a little bit of poutine? Because we're going to see cha1n go up against ZenAku next. So a little more America's action for all the viewers and for us here in the studio, so to speak. How do you feel about cha1n versus Zen?
I'm feeling confident for the Canadian 100%. I think he's been playing the best Quake of his life and just seems to be getting better every week. ZenAku is incredibly stable, but just isn't in the position from what I've seen to challenge him. I think 100% I think every map would be relatively close, but I don't see a ZenAku map in this one for me.
I feel like Zen has a chance. cha1n's playing out of his mind. I think he's only dropped 2 maps the entire 10 weeks, which is absolutely insane. He's starting to get those 3-0s that he wants. He's starting to heat up. He's grinding a lot more, putting in a lot more time, ramping up, going towards the Stage 1 finals. But I feel like ZenAku, he's kind of one of those players that can just pop off and really, stop your momentum and just kind of take you by surprise. He's been putting in the time as well. Both players, again, putting in a lot of time, grinding, getting better. We'll see. I think you might be right, though. I think cha1n just might be on a different level for now, but this could be the breakout for Zen. I know that I say that every time I cast him because I just know that he has that ability to pop off and kind of overcome his opponent. We'll see. It's kind of an any given Sunday situation here at Quake Pro League.
I just feel the way in which cha1n plays, in that it's quite a conservative style. He never leaves himself vulnerable to players that are just quote unquote popping off. I don't feel that's you need more in your game to beat someone like cha1n. I think Zen is perfectly capable of it. I just feel that cha1n is a step above him at this point in time, and he's starting to do, as you said, what we noted of him in the past. He wasn't taking 3-0s consistently, and he wasn't taking games away from opponents. That's what Rafa has over cha1n at the moment, is he knows how to pick up the tempo and really take a game away from you before you know what's hit you. And I think cha1n is slowly getting there.
Sure. Why don't we take a look at the pick bans real quick and see, based on the matchups, if we feel any different way about it. Again, I'm waiting with bated breath for the day that I could just pop a shoey on the stream when ZenAku takes it. So, Blood Covenant, Deep Embrace, Molten Falls. We've got a little bit of Nyx and Anarchy on the Blood Covenant. Ooh, Keel and Scale on Deep Embrace.
What are those
I like
picks?
it thick. Let's do that.
What are those picks?
Falls, Ranger and Sorlag, it looks like on Molten. But yeah, Deep Embrace is going to be the highlight, right? That's already a fast-paced map. And then you add the thick boys. Let's have some fun. That scoreline should be fantastic.
I'm really looking forward. I love watching Deep Embrace, and that is a matchup I'm really interested to see play out. I don't think I've seen Keel on that map at all in an official matchup. So that's an interesting pick for me. The rest of them pretty standard. We know that cha1n loves a Nyx and Blood Covenant. She is probably the best champion on across the board with a double jump and the Ghost Walk. Anarchy is a decent counter. Then obviously that fun on Deep Embrace, finishing up on, I didn't write it down. What was the last map? Molten.
Yes,
and we've got Ranger versus Sorlag. I think Ranger is slightly better equipped than Galena to play on that map for me. The verticality and the orb burst damage, once again, repositioning means you can get away, but still, Sorlag's always strong.
Yeah, one thing I like about the Nyx Anarchy matchup on Blood Covenant specifically is you can kind of control vials based on how often you Ghost Walk or inject. Probably a little more advantage to Anarchy, since injecting randomly, it helps his base HP, so you're not really underutilizing something such as just popping Ghost Walk out of the blue. But we'll see who uses their ability better and who kind of gets the momentum going. If ZenAku can get that overstack going and just keep healing taking the vials away, making sure Ghostwalk isn't available for Chain. Maybe ZenAku takes it. I don't know. I'm going to predict probably 2-1 Chain, but I think it'll be very, very close, and I'm hoping that Zen puts himself on the board. Maybe a little biased. I don't care. I want to do a shoey, but let's hop into this one. Chain versus ZenAku, Blood Covenant. We are live right now, and we are going to follow Chain.
Yeah, this is a stereotypical Chain map pick into a champion pick. Allows him lots of versatility, but by nature is slightly more conservative in the way in which it is played out.
And that drive-by rail right off the bat. Misses with the follow-up, but whether it's because of ping or whatever, ZenAku is a rail-dependent player. So I think if we see him start connecting a lot, it might open up the game, but if he doesn't, he might suffer dramatically. As that rocket lands, does a little bit of damage here. As Chain makes his way back to the Mega. Doesn't really land any thick rockets, so ZenAku actually gets in on that Mega relatively undamaged. And look at the change in stack right now. ZenAku has the advantage, but Chain has the Ghostwalk and the positioning for this next heavy.
Positioning is the key point, as going through a choke point is not what ZenAku wants to do. Eats a rail for his trouble, and already the stacks are even once Chain picks up this heavy, which he is delaying. Trying to bait out ZenAku. He's not even going to pick it up, and I really like this play. Just holding out on the item, double backing. This is old school Quake duel strategy right here.
Tries to get a little aggressive, does leave an opening for the heavy to be taken. So ZenAku gets a little piece of something, but he also gets a lot of rocket damage. That is just a donk on the head. Really well-placed rocket there from Chain.
And going up the jump pad's always dangerous. He will be able to convert. No, that just misses the top of the Mohawk as ZenAku skirts himself away. Still pretty vulnerable as he's already popped the inject, so won't be able to compete, but needs this rail. Chain's in position. You can see once again how aggressive actually Chain is posturing, but in a very safe manner. By aggressive, I mean he's just trying to take these angles, pick his opponent apart, not just running the items.
Yeah, damage from Chain here, as we saw earlier, just leaving up that heavy to get the frag 2 minutes in. Zen again missing out on that rail. If we keep seeing that, that might be a very, very bad sign here. I think he's not going to be up for a long time. There's a rail, but it's returned immediately by Chain. Making sure he has a stack advantage. We'll take those trades all day. Now he's just stalking his prey, keeping up this positioning on the rocket, center of the map. You can hear everything. There's a great rail. He's going to strafe out. Is he going to hit the shot before the Mega? No, the Mega is taken. ZenAku will escape. But Chain, you know, he has the heavy to his back. He's going to re-up on rails, and he's going to grab this heavy and keep this one frag lead. His stack's about even here. ZenAku needs to be careful. Almost takes a rocket to the face. Bit of an awkward fight for Chain there, but he does shoot a warning rail upwards. Chain finally landing a rail there. Gets another one, he's heating up. Almost hits the third. Zen does hit one on his way down, hits another one as he's moonwalking his way towards the heavy.
It's important to note as well that ZenAku is actually on 30 ping in this engagement, and this matchup. Chain playing on 90.
And there's the Ghostwalk. So yeah, maybe nerves, maybe shaking off a little bit of the rust here. First game, as Chain still has a firm 1 frag lead. About to cross the 4-minute threshold here. There's the rocket jump, going aggressive with the shotgun. He's going to jump in, but he's going to get floated with the LG, and that was not the attack he wanted there.
Really not.
Chain. Wow.
Chain has him on a little bit of a rope at the moment, just guiding him around the map, and I love the way in which he uses the items to maximum effectiveness as a resource, leaving them up until the very last minute where he needs them. A, to get the most amount of effect out of them from when he takes damage, and B, to maintain positioning to deal damage to his opponent. And you can see him playing in a very Kilson-esque way at the moment. Just holding that position on the mid-ground, picking his opponent apart with rails, and then pouncing on him when the moment is right.
Yeah, holding mid, cut off, add some rails, and that's a recipe for success here. 2-0, as we're getting closer to the halfway mark, and Again, questionable attack there from ZenAku as he ends up riding the lightning. This one a little bit better, but he does eat a rocket. Ghostwalk is popped, does steal the mega, but now he eats a rail as well.
Nice.
Hits another one. His chain is just on another level right now. He's going to drop down. There's the cutoff. ZenAku won't be able to land damage that he wants. There's a good one. Can he hit the wall jump? Saves Chain's life. 6 HP as ZenAku struggling to output the damage. Well done to Chain. He needs to be really careful here. A little bit of Tri-Bolt will take him out. Whew. I'm sure chat was full puckered on that one. 3-0 as Chain looks a little healthier now. What
Donk.
in the world? That donk. He's going to go in off that. ZenAku has nothing, and he gets piped. 4-0. This is looking bad for the Australian right now.
Yep, firmly in Chain's control. He's not in time for the heavy, but he does some good damage. Just picking away with the Tri-Bolt.
Jump through the telly, a little bit of LG that's forcing a Chain onto the low ground here. Does have Ghostwalk. He's going to queue up a rail shot and decide against it. So he doesn't want to overstay his welcome. Doesn't want to give any opportunity for damage here. He's going to miss a little bit of the rail. Misses a second one too. ZenAku with the heavy machine gun trying to make something happen. A little bit of Tri-Bolt to defend. And 31 HP. Chain should take his leave, and he does.
Ghostwalk is still up though. Only been popped once all game. Just shows you the level of comfort he's playing at the moment. Under no real pressure from ZenAku, even when he's low.
Yeah, just very, very comfortable, as you mentioned. Zen hasn't really been able to do anything to kind of put him on the back foot, even with that water rail threading the needle. That was gorgeous. Misses with the follow-up, but the damage is done. He's going to be able to jump over with that wall jump, reposition to the rockets. Almost gets another rail. I was going to say Zen's having a hard time putting Chain on the back foot, even with that attack at the rockets. Just jumping down on the LG was questionable there.
Yeah,
so
Zen's
even when he's trying to
map.
catch him off, even when he's trying to catch him off guard, just no dice.
Well, this is it. Zen's running the map, but Chain's map awareness and understanding of his his opposition's pathing and plan is just second to none at the moment. He's reading Zen every turn. That's a good use of the Tri-Bolt, but once again, the Ghostwalk is up and ready. And it's tough. You can see that ZenAku's taking these pathing around the map, but it's all pretty predictable at the moment. This feels like we've repeated this scene 3 or 4 times here. And unless he hits his shot, Chain is going to come out on top. He's got the right weapon choice.
The inject might save his life, 10 HP, but
No
bring
way.
around the Rosie, and there it is. Finally, Zen gets it. So weak, though. Is he going to fight for this heavy? Rockets raining down, misses with the rail, and there's the opening. Rather clean heavy. 220 left. There's the rocket jump to gain speed, and this is exactly what Zen needed. He's going to be able to get the mega as well, but he needs frags.
Oh, just on the timing of the Ghostwalk. Otherwise, that would have been a big rocket. But ZenAku here's got a huge stack. He needs to make it count. Chain's got nothing to work with at the moment. He needs the rail, so Zen also needs to defend it. He has jumped on him, gets bounced around. Early inject. See how wary he is fighting around these pillars. One bad rocket and that fight flips on its head and he's forced to retreat. But once again, Chain doesn't have anything to work with. So as long as ZenAku can maintain control and position on this high ground, Chain is going to be on the back foot for the last minute and a half. But once again, there is a Ghostwalk. So you have to burn through him twice for every one of these frags.
Yeah, Zen feeling the pressure. He's just going to have to chase. He might be able to catch him out. Almost riding the LG again. He's going to push into the LG room. Pops the Ghostwalk. So he has that down. Here's the jump pad. 1:20 left, but ZenAku's already so weak. Because he has to wait for this heavy, and then he has to just go, go, go.
Yeah, and Chain is not going to give him an inch here. You can see that if ZenAku wants to pressure, Chain is going to be taking a lot of damage in return. And that's the problem with being a light champion. You have a lot to work with. Oh, he misses that.
Just missing it. Good. Wow. Great rocket to rail. I was going to say that was pretty good, but that was perfect. But
he took so much damage and the Ghostwalk's up.
Yeah, less than 50 seconds too. He's speeding around the map. Even if he catches him, it's a Ghostwalk that'll burn another 3-4 seconds.
Oh my word.
And those rockets aren't going to help at all. Chain takes him down. That is unfortunate for Master ZenAku here, as it looks like this one's tied up and sealed. 5-2, maybe a little bit more, but this one's going cha1n's way.
I think this is typical of cha1n, really. It's just clean. Once again, he hasn't taken the map away from ZenAku. He didn't absolutely dominate the scoreline, but it never felt like ZenAku was in with a chance. It's typical cha1n, where he controls the tempo, he controls the pacing, he has the positional advantage. Yes, he didn't have the item control, that's not his style, but he had control of the game.
Like you said, he positions himself in a way to where he can either deal damage or just completely avoid damage. So items aren't a big deal. And hey, yeah, take these items for free, but you're going to get damage on the way out or later on when you're traversing the map, and I'll take all that free damage and negate everything you just picked up.
And once again, you can see like he did 50% more damage than ZenAku. That's how much control he had over the course of the game. Even though it's only a 5-2, it didn't really feel like ZenAku had a chance, despite the item advantage to him.
Yeah, so really well played from cha1n. He's come a long way. I see chat popping off about it too. The man has come a long way, and he's only going to get better and better because he wants to 3-0. And, with that start map under his belt, he's on his way to maybe another 3-0. But I feel like this is the main event of the series. This is what everybody wants. We got Deep Embrace, we got Keel, and we got Scale Bearer. Does it get better than that?
This is a map where you won't be able to enforce as much control as you would like. I mean, I say that there are ways to do it, and I'm interested to see how cha1n plays it. But I know that ZenAku has also been grinding this hard, and it's his map pick. He's got a scale, which we know he loves. Let's see how he plays it out.
Yeah, I hope he just drops his shoulder and goes ham. I want a high score line. I just want a slugfest. No downtime, consistently chasing off spawn. That's what I want to see, and I think that's what the people at home want to see too.
Yeah, I mean, for all you old players out there, I don't know about you, 40, but this map reminds me so much of Aerowalk, the way in which it plays and the flow. So just as that reference, you know what kind of score lines and excitement you can get out of this map.
We just need like 4 more tallies and it'll be perfect. But yeah, I agree. Very high flying right off the spawn. You can get a lot of damage. You can get a lot of spawn frags. So if you see the score line be 10-6, 10-5, you know it's not over, because the minute someone can get a frag back, it goes in their way and it just pendulums back and forth. And I love to see it.
You can play incredibly rail heavy. You can play incredibly passive with rockets only. Play those corners. There's a good high ground advantage, but you can also play low ground. It's got a lot of different flexible tactical options.
Well, this is it. We got bull rushes, we got pineapples, so shaddle them up and let's see who's going to take map number 2 between cha1n and ZenAku. Heavy going to cha1n right off the bat. He's got that rail. He's about to get rockets too. Needs to be a little bit careful here. Just cautious of what ZenAku might do. ZenAku drops down. I think he spotted him out. cha1n can clear this corner here. The murder hole. That's not where you want to be here. His scale. He's the thick boy. He can get through, just barely though.
Yeah, I feel that pain.
Just too muscly. He's just too muscly. I told you to stop lifting those weights. Just snorting raw protein powder all the time here as Heavy goes to cha1n again. Grabs a 25 on his way over to the Mega as well. Great rail on the way out. Misses with a follow-up. ZenAku actually lands a retaliation. And that's going to be big as he grabs the 50 shard down below. Finally getting rockets is ZenAku as cha1n forced down to the lower side of the map. Heavy's going to be up next. It's going to be a bit of a pain for cha1n to get there, so I think he's just going to concede completely and opt for LG instead.
Yeah.
LG and the Mega.
Oh, what a rail.
Beautiful. Gorgeous.
Yes, bruv.
Lovely ball in then. So still rather slow. I mean, we have bits and bobs of damage here, but there's the bull rush. ZenAku wants to make this up close and personal. Rockets are going to land, and wow, ZenAku fearless there as cha1n just couldn't defend.
No, that was a bit messy coming out from cha1n. He'll be able to pick up this Mega, but at what cost? It's a vulnerable item relative to the heavy on this map. Plenty of angles and areas to do damage, and ZenAku did a good job there hitting the rail. A little bit of spam. cha1n really wants that light. Probably not worth it.
Great rail again. cha1n gets taken down from above. ZenAku up 2-0. Establishing an early lead here, but again, it could be flipped in a matter of seconds. So he wants to extend this as much as he can. Has the bull rush and the shotgun. That could be a deadly combo, but soaking a pineapple in the mouth. A little bit of citrus to cure that scurvy. The LG around the corners. He's going to push. cha1n knows he's weak. There's the bull rush into the Mega. Oh boy. Oh, the jump pad. 33 HP. How is he alive? cha1n extremely weak as well. He's going to grab the lower 50. That's going to help him out a little bit.
No weapons, sorry. He's just picked up the rail. He's got one. Oh man. If I was ZenAku, I would really put a lot of emphasis on controlling that rail because it's the key weapon for cha1n. He bases his whole game around it.
And that was a thick rocket for a thick boy there. ZenAku lands that third frag. He's going to be able to cut off and moonwalk his way to the Mega. That's going to be a good play here as cha1n has nothing and the shotgun will take him down. And that's just literally using your body. And that's just really well done from ZenAku, knowing he had the stack and had the Mega right behind him. Well done to him, but unfortunately it does sacrifice position on the heavy, so he's going to have to let that go, opting for the lower 50. Trying to hold on to this 4-frag lead for a little bit longer.
Yeah, he's very weak though. He's there for the light, but so is cha1n, and that's an easy conversion right before the Mega as well. And look how stacked Keel is now.
Machine gun going a long way here. Doing a lot of damage. A little bit of pineapple for your trouble. Oh! There's the bull rush through the murder hole. Wow. That'll even up the stacks. Heavy should go to Zen as he has the positioning. The rail won't land. cha1n with the pineapples trying to throw anything he can the intergalactic warlord's way. He's going to get caught out in the murder hole again. That is just a terrible place. And off the spawn, he should be dead here. If Zen can convert this, there's a defensive rail to keep him off his back and somehow stays alive. Very fortunate.
Yeah, at the minute, it looks like ZenAku is definitely a lot more comfortable on this map. cha1n being caught off guard a number of times. Pretty unusual for how calculated he usually is in all of his movements and aspects. He's in a lot of trouble here. No weapons to work with, no stack. 5 pineapples.
A rail and a shotgun and a pineapple and a dream. As the rail will miss, the pineapples come flying out. ZenAku dodges, opts to go up the jump pad. Mega is up. cha1n will take the jump pad just to try and get a little bit of space here as he doubles back for the Mega. Heavy will go to ZenAku, it looks like. Is he going to go through the telly? He will. Might eat a lot of damage. Here's the bull rush! Oh, how did that not land? What a rail! Just a pixel-perfect rail from ZenAku there.
5-minute warning.
As cha1n with a bit of ole. Just missing out on that bull rush. Oh, almost goes down into the crevasse. But instead, a little bit of a hop with those sandals. And he's able to safely grab the Mega. So he's extended his lead to 5 halfway through. cha1n looking a bit flustered, as you said. Getting caught. Oh my god, speaking of caught, that rocket right in ZenAku's pocket. He's going to be able to bull rush through the murder hole and get out of there for the time being. But cha1n with the chase down. There's no escape. 6-2, and is this where cha1n turns it around and starts heating up?
We said that last time, and ZenAku found a way to very quickly neutralize the stack. So cha1n needs to definitely be more cautious in the way in which he approaches the next 30 seconds. What ZenAku's done a great job of, particularly on the defense, is nullifying the rail angles from cha1n. You can see him not being able to find these angles as easily as he was in Blood Covenant.
Just being a pest, not giving up that free damage, as you said, and it's working very much to his advantage. Wow, there's an aggressive rocket jump up. It won't land with the rail, unfortunately, for Zen. cha1n landing a rail, grabbing the heavy, and this is where he needs to push the advantage.
ZenAku's really showing his experience here. cha1n unable to lock down his opponent or feel any damage whatsoever. Every time he pushes, he's the one actually taking the first damage. Good bull rush there coming out. Pineapples as well. They're pretty both low. cha1n the one in position to take the health and armor.
3 HP.
And ZenAku suicides.
He wants to reset, yeah.
He does, just before the heavy spawn. He knew that cha1n was on the other side of the map, but he didn't actually get the perfect spawn. The rail misses, but damage comes out from both. Still time for cha1n to get back in this, but ZenAku's done a great job of taking down cha1n stack.
Just looking for another rail angle here as he commands that lower 50 shard. Missing, does have a bull rush available, there it is, and wow, down goes cha1n. See you later, 6-2 for ZenAku. Time ticking away here. Still plenty, given the size of the map and the spawns and whatnot, so not a lot of pressure for cha1n, but being 4 down, he's probably not used to this situation here, so he's trying to close the gap. A little bit of LG around the corners. ZenAku dancing all day, landing little bits of damage here. Really making cha1n work for every bit of damage that he's getting right now. Murder hole again, the bull rush not gonna land this time. Instead, it'll lead to ZenAku's demise. 6-3 as cha1n will get map control, but he's still rather weak. He needs more health bubbles. He's gonna grab one, that's gonna help. But time is ticking as well.
Minute and a half to go. It's pretty easy to get a spawn frag on this, but saying that ZenAku is playing scale. Really, he spawns as a beefy opponent. He's also waiting. He knows exactly what's going on here, and cha1n has no choice. He's running out of time. He needs to make the aggressive plays.
Really good play there from Zen, just being extremely patient, having the right weapon out, knowing exactly what's up, as you said. And now he's just going to play this game, plus back. Catch me if you can, kind of a situation here. Because that's a fantastic rail from cha1n as he's dropping down. He's going to make his way over the heavy. Mega going to Zen, and that's going to make it even harder to melt that stack with a minute left. Uphill battle for the Canadian here as he's chasing. He wants this Intergalactic Warlord's head on a platter. There's a good rail, a little bit of pineapple, the bull rush away, and it's just a foot race. And I really like cha1n waiting until the bull rush stops so he can get that full 90 damage. Again, the rush does damage mitigation, but every second that ticks away is in favor of ZenAku. Still a 3 frag lead, 30 seconds. This might be done.
I think it is. I don't think even if he gets a frag now, will he be able to get back, and can't even get his opponent. ZenAku's just too good at traversing the map. Obviously he's quicker, but cha1n is struggling really to get on top of his opponent. There he goes, but with 15 seconds to go, it's just not enough time.
Do you believe?
I do not.
Respectfully, I do not. There's the murder hole, but even with this frag, ZenAku has done it, and actually he stands his ground on that last one and takes it 7-4. Is going to be the end scoreline for map number 2, Deep Embrace. ZenAku puts himself on the board.
I don't see a lot of merit in that kill pick, if I'm honest. Didn't feel like it played any sort of dividends to cha1n or his strategy, but it also felt that ZenAku was just a lot more comfortable on that map than cha1n was. I'm sure they've both been practicing it a hell of a lot, but it definitely felt that ZenAku had the upper hand in terms of awareness of strategy and pathing and angles, and cha1n just didn't really have a look in to lock ZenAku down or play his traditional positional angle game.
For sure. You got to wonder if maybe the Keel pick was just okay, I'll just take extra damage because the pineapples, but then you got to hit those pineapples for it to be lucrative and mean anything. So I'd love to talk to cha1n a little bit later and see kind of what was the thought process behind the Keel pick. But I always love seeing them, so I don't care. Bring them out all the time on every map is my opinion. But nobody cares about what I think. ZenAku takes that map 7-4. People in chat blowing up. It's going to go to map number 3, ZSX. What do you think?
I'm still favoring cha1n to take it now 2-1.
So you just think it was a gimmick? You just think scale on Deep Embrace, huh?
No,
or maybe, again, a mispick from cha1n.
A bit of a mispick from cha1n. Much more experience, or it seemed much more experience than ZenAku, but it was just better play. He fully deserved it.
Yeah, really, really good play there. And like we said, every time that cha1n was trying to go for damage where he had the stack, ZenAku was just such a pest. Playing those pillars, playing those angles, making sure he did max damage before cha1n even got the opportunity to, finish a kill or really do big, chunky damage. So really well played from ZenAku. Grinding that map, the experience with scale, it really shone through on that one. As we're going to make our way slowly to Molten Falls, Ranger versus Sorlag. I feel like Sorlag's stack on this, of course, is fantastic, but I feel like Ranger is really, really versatile on this map, specifically for set plays. And we saw Effortless use Ranger so well with the burst damage, which could come in handy, but against the Sorlag, it's also, a dual-edged sword because you are just running into Acid Spit.
I would traditionally favor Sorlag on this map. I think Ranger has a lot of versatility though, so it's not too heavily favored, but I do like the speed, I do like the stack, and I would ever so slightly favor him, but we saw how effective Ranger is earlier in the hands of Effortless, and this is definitely one of Ranger's favorite maps.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see. I've seen some players try set plays. I think we saw Effortless try one set play specifically, heavy to the double bubbles in Red Room, which got sussed out immediately from Dewey. But I really want to see more players trying to utilize okay, I know the exact timing, and this is kind of the downfall of the set plays, right? You have to have timing down to the second, but throwing out that Dire Orb, snagging the item, and then immediately Dire Orbing out, I'd like to see that a little bit more. I think we've seen Cypher do it a little bit. We've seen Effortless do it earlier today, but I don't know. I feel like most players just use it for damage, which is completely warranted and fantastic. Again, we saw Effortless finish out so many kills on Corrupted Keep with the Dire Orb, but the versatility of it, I would love to see a player kind of utilize it for just being annoying, misdirection, and just getting in and out of items. But we will see shortly how cha1n wants to use it. I'm assuming damage. Why not? Especially against someone so thick like Sorbet. You just got to chunk as much damage as you can. We could see a little bit of hit and run rail and then up close and personal, finishing off with the Dire Orb. It's really how the Canadian champion wants to play it. But even with that map drop, I think all of Canada should be proud of cha1n, because I think he might be able to pull this out 2-1, like you said. I think that's only his third map drop of the series throughout the 10 weeks, so that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, he's been a man on a mission, but ZenAku is someone that can take a map off anyone, and he's not had his best season, but he's always in and around there, so it's full credit to him. He's nailed Deep Embrace, so he's a man to beat on that map.
Well, this is it, map number 3 of the set between cha1n and ZenAku. I don't have a shoey handy, so we'll see if ZenAku does this. First of all, he's got that beautiful dress on, which is fantastic. That's plus 3 frags immediately here as the war rages out next to the rail immediately. A shotgun, a little bit of acid spit as well. The 2-2 has powers. This game's slowing down. Zen grabbing some weaponry here. Does want some rockets. cha1n gets in on rockets of his own and some Tri-Bolt, making his way back to the heavy, which is going to spawn shortly, and ZenAku actually just leaves.
Interesting. The one thing to be said is that this map will play out a lot like the first, in the way in which cha1n can play it. Deep Embrace, he wasn't able to play his positional rail game, whereas Molten, he definitely can. And to your point, I do agree on the way to use the orb. I'm a big fan of having that versatility, but at the same time, it's so situational. You have to use it when you have to use it, so it's not game plan dependent the whole time.
Yeah, everyone has a plan until they're spit on or punched in the face here.
Exactly.
ZenAku trying to deal some damage. Wow, make that does deal some damage. Chunky rocket there on the heavy. Another good rocket there. Fantastic rail. That rocket was enough to give him the information, knowing the cha1n was just posting up, waiting for a rail shot on the Mega. And now cha1n's kind of on the back foot here, as Zen should be able to get this heavy for relatively free. cha1n's going to show up near the jump pad, maybe deal some damage as he goes up. Rail's traded, and cha1n is in a bad way right now. ZenAku just needs to guess right. Wow, what a dropping rail.
Hitting all the rails.
4-6 Quake's not bad at all. He's going to be able to cut off. There's the Dire Orb, actually passes through. It doesn't really do anything but get him out, and that's enough right now for cha1n. Surprising that Zen didn't really want to chase that down, but, you know, keep him weak, grab the items, and just slowly but surely suffocate your opponent out of the map for the first frag. That's well within, you know, fair play, so to speak, is Zen just waiting for this Mega, and he's going to have a massive stack in a second here, especially since cha1n missed that rail.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he could have turned around. It's like turning a tanker sometimes, trying to turn toward like around in a small alley, but he could have done it. Nevertheless, I would have suggested the way he's done it is the right way. Maintain item control, keep on top of your opponent, but what he's done now is cha1n's bought himself enough time to get a decent fighting stack up, so this is why we see ZenAku being a bit more careful in the way he's progressing these fights. Now he knows exactly what cha1n's doing, but at the same time extremely wary of pushing into any sort of choke point. But he's got
right
perfect item control.
Yeah, he is just dominating the items, but cha1n doing a good job of staying alive. By all accounts, looking at the stats, I mean, Zen has 5 heavies. He's about to have 6 megas. cha1n only has 2 heavies and 1 mega, and he still hasn't been fragged. So hats off to him, but you can't help but feel like it's only a matter of time. ZenAku just waiting for that one rail or rocket before he pursues his prey. Spit's going to be up shortly as well. It could be on this heavy as cha1n is going to go for it. He's going to get it, but ZenAku won't really pounce. He does hit a great rail, but it's traded out. The follow-up rail, however, fantastic from ZenAku.
Yeah, the rail trading is good from both players at the moment as they're doing pretty much even damage. Although it does feel that cha1n is quite comfortable playing this type of style and would like to see Zen take a bit more of a risk now, considering how much of a stack advantage he did have. That's such a good rail though, coming from below. It's only a matter of time as typical cha1n. Just one opportunity is all he needed.
Machine gun off the spawn for Zen, but absolutely right. cha1n taking his time, waiting for the proper moment, and somehow making it work. Just under the halfway mark. First frag of the game. As a 1 frag lead is music to cha1n's ears here. But will it get too loud? Will it spin out of control? ZenAku just taking that rail to the face there as he's trying to get a rail of his own. Rails traded again. ZenAku really needs to pump up the jams here. Eating another rail. A little bit of spit, and actually it'll connect, and that's unfortunate. So that's going to force cha1n down onto the mid-level to grab a 25 to stop the bleeding. And ZenAku actually makes the jump, even though he eats a rail. Does have the opportunity to try and close this out. cha1n playing a very good defensive game here.
But it's those moments where I'd like to see ZenAku go a bit more aggressive. Time your advances through the rocket spam. You need to make this count because you saw what happened last time. And on the flip side, there is still 4 minutes to go. Plenty of time to methodically work your way back into a position of parity.
Oh, wow. That is crazy. 1 HP is what I saw before the Mega was picked up, and he got the frag. That is so unfortunate.
That was insane. And now cha1n's feeling himself. Incredible damage coming out from the Canadian.
It's just so many rails now. He's just absolutely heating up. Getting great damage out of the railgun. Playing this well. Pressure mounting for ZenAku here. Still plenty of time. It's just getting more and more frustrating. Every time he shows his face, he's almost guaranteed to eat at least 1 rail, if not more.
And this is exactly what he couldn't do on the last map as well. Couldn't play this slower tempo game. He's popped him up. Nice rail. I think he needs more than 1 though.
cha1n, the maestro of this symphony here, as he's just stringing along everything. Stringing together just a beautiful set of rails. Almost hits another one. ZenAku actually comes out on top with that one, but cha1n still has the stack advantage.
Can see the challenge though in that one, it's cha1n's playstyle, but two, it's the champion matchup. You can't afford to overextend, because if the Sorlag gets the upper hand, that stack advantage becomes overwhelming, and so cha1n is almost forced into this very, very defensive posturing. But what he's doing such a good job of is making sure he's constantly whittling down that stack of the Sorlag and keeping track of her movements.
And it certainly doesn't hurt that you already have the frag lead, so the plus back does need to be perfect, but you know that if you hit all your shots and play well, it's pretty much in your pocket. All the pressure on ZenAku, he has to find an opening and time is ticking. So this is exactly what cha1n wanted. He's playing the game that he wanted. He's going to drop down, almost gets a big damage rocket there. As ZenAku just has to cruise around the map. He does have the luxury of picking up a couple more items, but a minute 30 left, it's all about the frags.
And yeah, can he even find cha1n? That's the big question. And jumping straight into what could have been death, but a nice final rocket. Just doing enough here, and he's very weak, but there is still a good amount of time for him to get back into this game. cha1n did pick up that Mega, but doesn't have any weapons just yet. ZenAku should know that.
Yeah, that's a huge frag. Leaving a lot of time, and cha1n, is that going to be enough?
Oh,
One
man.
more rocket would have done it, but the shotgun from cha1n is so strong.
That
that-
orb, again, the repositioning.
It just hurts. It just hurts. That should have been Zen's. Still 50 seconds left to get 2 frags. A little more difficult, but still doable, especially now that he knows the Dire Orb is down. cha1n trying to reposition through the telly. The Mega is up, but there's no time. The rail is good. cha1n down, extremely weak. Goes back up the jump pad. The flick rail won't land, but the spit will. So 30 seconds. Both items are up. Heavy goes to Zen. Can he close in on this Mega and deal damage? cha1n won't have any items, or excuse me, weapons, and that's the only thing that Zen has to his advantage, but he has to catch him out.
Yeah, hasn't got time to wait around for this Heavy. He needs to make a move now. He needs to understand where cha1n is, but cha1n is not moving. He's standing around by this Mega. ZenAku, though, has found him. He's seen his opponent, has got the orb, but he's used it to get across the void. Zen, though, reads him right.
He
hits the
traps
rail.
him! He needs to do it. He needs to just push in, spit, something, anything. Rockets, 3 seconds, gonna go off the jump pad. The rail won't land, and somehow cha1n skirts away with that one, but that rail was everything. The fact that he ruined his momentum, pinned him in the corner, you thought he had him dead to rights, but ZenAku almost seemed hesitant to pull the trigger and deal the damage.
It was so well played from both of them. cha1n getting away with the orb, ZenAku with the read, hitting the rail to knock him into the corner, but it just wasn't enough as cha1n managed to get to the low ground, and I think Zen had a bit of a brain fart trying to work out which way to go, how to drop, and unfortunately he just wasted too much time trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I think he just needed to commit to one side and know that, okay, this is it. This is the only chance I have. But that little dance he did just ate up enough time. cha1n takes it, but that was so extremely close. cha1n comes out on top of that set 2-1. Hats off to Zen for his deep embrace and scale. But cha1n walks away with another dub, as we've become more and more accustomed to seeing.
And you can see once again ZenAku with all the items, but cha1n with all the damage. The positioning, the rail, just too strong for ZenAku. And in spite of all that stack he had, he just couldn't make it count.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate there. But still a very, very close game. And this is kind of what we've seen from ZenAku time and time again, is where he's so close. You know, he's knocking on the door of taking these sets, but he just comes up a little bit short. So I think he keeps grinding, he keeps fixing these mistakes, and we could see, you know, a fantastic run through the Stage 1 final.
Absolutely. I mean, I expected it to be close, but I didn't expect it to be this close. Every map really went round to the wire. The biggest victory was Deep Embrace on ZenAku's map.
Yeah, huge victory for the Australian there. I would have popped a Shuey, but I said Shuey's for series victories, maybe Stage 1 finals, we'll see. But there we take a look at the stats for cha1n, again coming out on top 2-1, adding to his body count of victories and his purse. I mean, stacking cash for every map, let's not forget. Money, 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 as these players are battling it out. And a reminder again, Stage 1 final is just a month away. Everyone jockeying for position as best they can to try and be at the top before we get into the bracket play, which I'm looking forward to. That's going to be fantastic. New format. Yeah, we'll get there, man. I'm very excited to see how that unfolds.
Yeah, I know you are.
But I think we have more Quake action coming up, ZSX. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to go butter these chops. You guys get some snacks and some drinks, and we'll see you back here in about 5 minutes, okay? Don't go anywhere.